Now that was a Monday Night Raw. Welcome to Steve Chats Wrestling right here on youtube.com. Make sure to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments in the comments section. We're talking all Monday Night Raw on this video. We had an average show at Fastlane. Kind of was a bit nice in the video, really, what I thought about it. I said what the good things were and what the bad things were. But overall, it was an average pay-per-view. And going into Monday Night Raw and going into WrestleMania, you were going to be disappointed. You felt it was going to be rubbish. But actually, I think they pulled one out of the bag tonight. I think it was a really good show, actually. There was a couple of drawbacks. There was no Kevin Owens on the show, no Dolph Ziggler. Potentially some of the matches weren't of a high standard. There was a lot of tag matches. But if you're looking for story development, if you're looking, excuse me, throat's going, it's a bit late at night. If you're looking for story development, if you're looking for something to group you, and if you're looking for an intent at where we're going for WrestleMania, we got all of that, and we know matches that are going to be at WrestleMania already, and we've got the pathway is laid, and we know where we're going ahead. So let's kick off with the Raw review for you. Starting off with the Facebook video, which was posted before Raw. Brock Lesnar attacking Dean Ambrose in the parking lot. As soon as Dean Ambrose arrived to the arena, he was thrown through a windscreen of a car and also power slammed on a car as well, and was going to be taken away for medical treatment. We was going to get an update later in the evening. It looked graphic, it looked violent, it looked good. Particularly I like the imagery of the Facebook screen as well. It was really cool. From a media geek's point of view, I quite liked it. I really enjoyed that. But anyway, we're getting to the perhaps the main segment of the night, the Vincent J. McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award. Vince comes out to present. He talks about the family history, the legacy of the McMahon family. They've been going for generations. And he says that the award is going to go to Stephanie McMahon, who is the awarding person. I originally thought it was going to be Triple H, but no, I think the way that this has worked itself out, this turned out to be a fantastic segment. Stephanie McMahon said that she wasn't prepared, but she does acknowledge Triple H as her partner in crime. The arena boos, yeah, just as she's about to say her little speech, the music bumps, and here comes the money. Shane McMahon makes his return to WWE after about 6 or 7 years absence. So fantastic to have him come back. The crowd go nuts. We're getting the holy chants. We're getting this is awesome. We're getting Shane O'Mac chants. He's not even said 2 words yet. He's just entered the ring. I'm not sure about the footwear, but no, apart from that, fantastic to have Shane McMahon back in WWE. Vince McMahon goes to offer a handshake and a hug to Shane McMahon. Both were rejected, which shows immediately he is not on the McMahon side here. He is going to be doing what the fans want, and he's had enough. He said that the award is a great idea, but it's not for Steph. This is not for Stephanie McMahon. It's one step too far. And Vince McMahon said, why do it here? Why are we doing it out here? We said, well, we should always do things man to man, face to face. You told me to be a man, to step up, to do it in the arena, to do it in the ring. So what I'm doing now. Steffi argues that it's her moment, it's her legacy, but Shane says that she hasn't earned it. And to be fair, her and Triple H, if we're being brutally honest, they're ruining the company, they're running it to the ground. You only have to look at stock, ratings, and the current injuries of the WWE roster, which I really like, because you're bringing actually real things that are happening in the company to light. You're not avoiding it, and you're staring it straight in the face. I think that's great to bring to the storyline, because it had felt a sense of realism to it. So it was a great little bit to add into the promo. Shane says that he actually never lost his place in the line, where it was Vince McMahon's granddad, it was his father, then it was him. He never lost his place. Stephanie's like, what? Hold on, wait a minute, what? And he said, well, a few years ago, he helped Vince McMahon out on something to do with business. He helped him in business, and the only reason Stephanie McMahon is so high, her enjoyment is so high in the company right now, is because he let it happen. He took the time away. The business he helped give him a few years to be away from it, do a couple of his own things, be his own man, but now he's back. Stephanie said that this can't be true. Vince admits there is truth to it, and it'd be better if Steph just goes to the back and that he deals with the rest of this with Shane. So he says, Shane, what's it all about? Name your price, what do you want? Shane says, it's not about money. I want control of Raw. Vince says, well, if you want control of Raw, it means you want control of the whole company, which means if you want that, you're going to have to earn it. I'll do it for you, but it's going to come at a price. What's the catch? One match, one night, win the match. You beat the opponent Vince picks, Raw and the company's yours. If you lose, then he's going to get the key to the lockbox and there's nothing hanging over Vince's head anymore. So Shane accepts. The opponent, the time, the place, WrestleMania, of course WrestleMania, versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. Now, admittedly, the match itself might not be the best, but the way that this was delivered, the way it was set, it's exciting, it's must-see. The idea that the Authority storyline may finally finish after nearly 3 years, and it's been going on for perhaps 18 months too long. It should have finished after the Daniel Bryan saga, really. I think is a breath of fresh air for many. So I think this is great. How much it will lead into storyline going into WrestleMania, I'm not quite sure. But I mean, you don't really need The Undertaker there. The feud is Shane and Vince, not Vince and The Undertaker. Will Undertaker be a heel? Will he be a face? We'll have to see how it's going to work out. But it's not predictable. And it's not saying someone thought was going to happen going into the event. So it's exciting. And I think it's going to be good leading into WrestleMania. It's good to see a gimmick match as well at WrestleMania this year. Neville and the Lucha Dragons versus the New Day. There was the Bootio cereal to make you less booty promo with the New Day on Sheamus and Rusev. Kofi actually won the match for the New Day, beating Sin Cara with the Trouble in Paradise. There was a couple of cool moments with 450 splashes. Neville did that off the apron onto the floor, onto Big E. And then Kalisto actually stood on Neville's back and did the same thing onto Xavier Woods on the floor. Fantastic little move that was done there on Raw. High point of that match. Heyman and Brock Lesnar had an interview in the ring, or promo if you want, basically explaining that the reason Brock took Ambrose out was because of the fact that he got the chair involved and took Brock out of the main event of WrestleMania. He now needs a new opponent at WrestleMania, and he is annoyed. He is, well, in Heyman's words, he's pissed off. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of F5s for whoever comes in and wants to take Brock on WrestleMania. At this point, the ambulance comes back into the arena. Dean Ambrose is the one driving it, wearing a neck brace, crawling to the ring, just crawling. He can't get to the ring on his own feet. In the end, Brock goes to meet him on the floor, but Ambrose is on his back. Basically, Brock just stands on his head, walks over him, goes to the back. He's not interested. He's finished with Ambrose in his eyes. Heyman drops the mic on Ambrose's head. Ambrose grabs that mic and says, I want you at WrestleMania. No holds barred, street fight. Brock Lesnar comes back down the ramp, pulls Ambrose back up, F5s him onto the floor. Heyman picks the mic up and says, my client accepts. So there we go, another great little segment there for you on Raw, and it looks like they're another great match. I think it's going to be better than Brock versus Bray Wyatt, if honest. I think Bray would have lost. I don't think that's good for his character going into a third straight WrestleMania like that. I think this match is going to have some intensity behind it going into it. I think it could be quite brutal on the road. I think it could be a must-see match heading into WrestleMania. I think the build-up is going to be good for this one, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. One thing I will say about it, though, is, again, I think Dean Ambrose needs to win the match. How, you can't see it at the moment, but hopefully we'll get some hope in the build-up on the way to Mania. Moving on swiftly then, the Usos return, going to face the Ascension. The Dudleys do another promo saying it was nothing personal when they put them through the tables. Again, not a nostalgia act, and just showing them the best tag team. This led to then the Ascension jumping the Usos, but the match didn't last long. Usos picking up the victory with the Usos splash. So it looks like that one could be heading its way along WrestleMania, or will definitely be something leading up to WrestleMania anyway. Jericho has a promo that follows next with AJ Styles calls him out, says that after the third match he is phenomenal. He does have his respect and congratulations, you do belong here in WWE. The Social Outcasts come out and say what a touching moment. Actually thought they were quite entertaining on Raw actually tonight for once. It led to a tag match which was Heath Slater and Curtis Axel versus Y2AJ as they called them. So yeah, quite a cool little name really, but yeah, the match was okay, nothing special. Jericho gets the win with the Walls of Jericho on Axwell. Nice little spot was AJ jumping onto the top rope as this happened and doing a splash onto the other three members of the Social Outcasts. So Where that will lead from there, we're not quite sure. Of course, it's expected AJ Styles will take on Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens wasn't even on Raw, so perhaps that build will start next week. We'll have to wait and see. As for Jericho, we're yet to see what's going to happen with him just yet. There was a little segment backstage where Triple H and Stephanie said Raw hadn't started the way they wanted, but it will finish the way they want. Stephanie gets to deliver the bad news to Roman Reigns that he has a match against Sheamus. And of course, the League of Nations will all be at ringside. None of them have the opportunity Roman had. Let's hope there's no professional jealousy that could take Roman out of the match at WrestleMania. Again, nice little way that was delivered. The promos were very strong on Raw, which is what I like. The match is not necessarily as strong, but the promos, the build, it gets you excited for what's ahead. Another Golden Truth segment, a cake saying sorry. Personally, for me, it didn't really have much, this segment, really. R-Truth eventually putting the I'm sorry cake in Goldust's face. It looks like it's still building to where there will be a tag team, but we'll have to wait and see for when that tag team actually develops. Next was the 6-man tag match, the Wyatt family. This was the original Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan versus Ryback, Kane, and The Big Show. It was a standard sort of 6-man match like it was at Fastlane. It looked like the good guys were coming back into it, but then Ryback just kind of went off the apron and walked straight to the back of the locker room. Big Show was out of it on the outside, and Bray Wyatt hit the Sister Abigail on Kane to get the victory, to probably close the chapter on that for the Wyatts to get the victory. A backstage segment to why this happened. Ryback's words were, it was nothing personal, but I'm done with tag teams, it's time for me. The glass ceiling, time to break through it. The brass ring, time to grab it. It's time to break and take. So there we go. It looks like Ryback could be getting a push. There's been rumours potentially of Goldberg coming back to WWE. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. Potentially Goldberg versus Ryback. Could that happen at WrestleMania? Your thoughts in the comments section, please, on that one. Potentially at the moment it could be a heel turn on the horizon. Could that mean it could be Ryback versus The Big Show or Kane? Not very excited about that particular idea, but if you're looking for a face, Jericho still hasn't turned heel yet. Maybe that could be a way to go, because Jericho is quite a good worker and probably could put a good match out of Ryback, who does seem to be slightly improving recently in the ring. Sasha Banks versus Naomi. Tamina was on the outside. There was no Becky Lynch at the start of the match. Looked to be a bit of interference coming on, so Becky Lynch came out and took Tamina out of the ring. As this happened, Sasha Banks hit the bank statement and got the submission victory. After the match, there was a handshake between Becky and Sasha in the ring. Charlotte comes out and says, well, I've just been announced from the authority that there's going to be a number 1 contenders match. Who is going to face me at WrestleMania? Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks? Well, I think it's clear if it's going to be one of them, it's going to be Sasha Banks. But she sort of, she did go on to say in the promo, she didn't say that Sasha Banks would win, by the way, in the promo, just to clarify, that's my opinion. But she went to go on in the promo and say that there will be one number 1 contender, and we'll find out over the next few weeks, which implies it might not necessarily be next week. And she's the one that's going to be having the fun on the road to Mania. Charlotte quite strong with her promo and wearing Brie Bella gear as well. Yeah, very strong on the mic, so it was good to see. Was quite impressed with that little segment there. It was announced as a calculated risk with Vince McMahon and Stephanie in the backstage segment, with the Shane McMahon thing, and Vince saying that's how you do it and that's how you run business. So we'll have to see as that progresses to anything further else. Hall of Fame announcement, as I did a video earlier on, The Godfather is on the Hall of Fame. If you wanted to check that out in the previous videos in the archive, you can do that right now on Steve Chats Wrestling. And then we had the main event, Roman Reigns versus Sheamus. League of Nations interfere and get chucked out, sent to the back of the locker room. This then leads to a one-on-one match. It looks like Roman's going to win on a count out, but as it hits the 9 count, Roman gets back into the ring. Triple H's music hits. And you know he means business. He's not wearing the suit. He's wearing the t-shirt, the leather jacket, the jeans. Leather jacket comes off. The belt goes down. Fighting outside of the ring. Triple H eventually gets the best of this. Hits Roman Reigns with the ring bell across the face, and then repeatedly just smashes his face into the announcer's desk to the point that his face is bloody. It's really bloody. With all the fans shouting, yes, yes, yes. Fans were booing Roman, they were Roman, shall we say, and they were cheering Triple H. If they want Roman to be the guy that's over here, it's clearly not worked. Triple H is going to be seen the face by the fans in this one, by the looks of it. But it didn't end there. The steel steps were removed, and there was a pedigree on a bloody Roman Reigns on the steel steps. It would look quite barbaric.